You're listening to Life Without Limits with Tom and Bunny.
If you're under 18, this podcast is not for you.
These are our opinions and what works for us well in the lifestyle community.
You can see all of our videos and listen to all of our other podcasts at TomandBunny.com.
All of our podcasts and videos are brought to you from Tom's Trips, the leader in adult travel.
If you want to travel with us, check out tomstrips.com or call 800-285-0853 today.
Now, enjoy the podcast.
Enjoy. Hello, how are we today? My voice is a little scruffly today.
Good morning, everyone. It's the middle of fall here, and I think that there's still a lot of crap blowing around, and we've got some allergies going on.
Right. So the other night we went out with a couple, and we were kind of just talking about bisexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And they had talked about, they got into the lifestyle because they were doing the pillow talk, and one of the things that were discussed was that he would like to see her with another woman, and that got her creative juices flowing, and she thought that would sound like a great idea. Yes,
and I think that that's how so many people start into this lifestyle.
I think a lot of people have that fantasy because I honestly think that most of the time the reason for that is because the guy is fairly insecure. And I know guys are getting testosteroned out right now going, that's bullshit, I'm not insecure. But talking to a lot of the women, they over 23 years of running a club, when they come in and I hear that, oh, we're only looking for a bi female, we're not looking for another guy, I don't want another guy in the room, I don't want a guy looking at my wife. What does that scream? Insecurity. So whenever I'd see the woman alone, I would always ask her, are you truly bi, or are you doing this just to satisfy his desires? And I got some that were truly bi. I mean, they were bi through high school and all the way up till marriage and everything. And then they stopped being bi when they first got married. Now they're 5-10 years into their marriage, and the husband brought it up. Now they can be themselves again. Okay,
right. So they can bring that back out in the open. Yes.
Right. So there are true bi women out there, as some people say, bi feverish. Anytime, any place, they're down for the count.
That is a true bisexual.
That is a true bisexual. But the majority of the women I talk to, I would ask them, and they would be like, I'm curious. I want to please my husband, and they prefer to actually be with another male.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't marry a male to be a lesbian or bisexual. Mm-hmm. They married a male because they liked the male.
Mm-hmm.
So the couple we were talking to the other night, that's kind of how they were explaining it, that they were having the pillow talk. So they started meeting couples, are singles, just for the girls to play. Well, she started getting bored because she preferred men.
Right.
And he started getting bored because while in the beginning it's really all peaches and cream.
And it's fun to watch.
It's great to watch in the beginning, but man, I can go out and have a few drinks and let it happen by itself. I don't really care that much anymore myself. And a lot of guys tend to feel that way after the third or fourth experience, especially when the guy is sitting on the sidelines watching and his wife's getting all the action every single time they go out.
Mm-hmm. And he's not getting anything. Because some of these women who, they may only be interested in the woman. They don't want to play with the man. And the guy in the beginning is like all good with that. And then after a while, he's like, all right, I'm bored.
Right.
Now I want a little action myself.
And the girl is kind of like, I'm bored. I want to bang that cute dude over there that keeps checking me out, but I can't because we're only looking for bi women.
Yes. And that's where you need to open up your communication if you want something different.
So now, one of the things that me and Bunny were kind of talking about on the way home is we live in a situation where the lifestyle evolves. Every couple years, it evolves differently.
Yes.
When we first got in the lifestyle, the bi women were not so prevalent.
No, not at all.
Matter of fact, our first contact with another couple, we lived in Iowa, they lived in Indiana, and we were going back and forth, had a great conversation, and they asked, is Bunny bi? Well, we never thought of that, so we kind of talked about it. All we replied back was, we never thought about it. She can be. Holy cow, we got blasted.
Mm-hmm.
They thought bi women were the most disgusting things in the world and this and that. And we were like, holy shit. we were just opening our options. We weren't saying you were bi.
No, we weren't saying we were. I wasn't saying I wasn't. If the opportunity arose, then I could go that way. And boy, yeah, they didn't not like that and ceased all communications.
Right.
Just for the possibility.
And then when we started going to clubs, it was mostly orgy. I mean, when you went to a club, you went there to play.
Yes.
It wasn't social hour. You got there, you had a few drinks, you had some fun, played some pool, you talked a little bit. It was more comfort hour than social hour.
Yes. And by that time, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, everybody was in the playrooms.
Right. And today it's more social. People actually don't even play so much anymore. They want to be around people that possibility could play, or they think, oh my God, well, we would fuck this couple and they'll fuck that couple, so we're great friends, but we're not going to fuck anyone.
Right.
So it evolves around, but there are people that do play. Don't get us wrong, because we do get a lot of messages. I go to all these clubs and no one's playing with anyone, and that's just the way the lifestyle has evolved. Yeah, because
everybody's already met all their friends, and it's kind of social. And if we hook up, we're going to hook up, and it's all going to be fine and dandy. But yeah, it's completely different at clubs,
right,
than it was back in the day.
So this podcast is about bisexuality, mostly for women on the part. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about bisexual couples and everything. We do have a couple that is very out about being bisexual, and they're going to call in, and we'll be able to ask them all the questions. So if you have questions about bisexual couples, please go to our website, TomandBunny.com, and click on Contact Us and submit your questions, and we will ask the hard questions.
Yes, because there is a difference between bisexual and sexual fluid and pansexual.
Right. There's open-minded, mm-hmm. bi-curious. There's a gauntlet. Let me just, off the top of my head, we were going to prepare, but you guys know we don't prepare for nothing. But we, when we ran a website, we had several. We had straight. Every website has straight on it. Mm-hmm. Every website. It's kind of funny because on a swinger website that's designed for couples, single female, single men, they actually have gay and lesbian sections because there's so many gay sites out there. Mm-hmm. But, couples look for, there's lesbians that go to clubs just because they want to get dick.
Yes.
And then they're done, go
mm-hmm.
home. They don't want a relationship. They don't want a friendship. They just want to go there. Instead of using a dildo, they get laid and they have a great time. And just because they're lesbians doesn't mean a guy can't be part of a sexual situation.
Mm-hmm. We used to see it a lot.
So when I first seen gay and lesbian on the websites, I'm like, why are they even here? If a lesbian's here, it's mostly couples. And the couples want a girl where the guy can play with the girl. But then running a club, we saw. So it does work out very well. On the gay scene, most clubs don't allow male bisexuality still today. It's
right.
unfortunate, but there are a lot of clubs that do allow it now.
That are opening up different nights for bisexual couples.
Correct. But the bisexual terminology is just huge. Mm-hmm. So we'll start off, me and Bunny will go back and forth on this one. I created on our website because people didn't want to say they were bisexual because if it happened, it happened. They wanted to keep their options open, but they didn't want to classify themselves as bisexual. They were straight, but they would open or entertain suggestions.
Yes.
But just because they acted on those suggestions, some people would say, oh, they're bisexual or gay. they felt they were not. And I don't think they were, just because they had fun one night. I mean, they say there's an old saying, and it's a joke, and it might be offensive, but it's out there. Drive a truck once doesn't make you a truck driver. And that's where I'm going at with this.
Mm-hmm.
But suck one cock, you're a cocksucker for life.
Right. And it's out there, but it's so not the truth.
It's not the truth, but people, that's how they would term it.
But that's closed-minded people.
That's very closed-minded people. So if you go do something, just like I say, just because you go out and drive a truck doesn't make you drove my truck and trailer. You are not a truck driver. Bunny will run over every single curb out there.
I'm not even a trailer driver. I can't
just
even
because
get
you
around
drove the
one.
damn thing doesn't make you experienced in it. And that would be the same way with a girl going down on another girl or a guy going down on another guy. Just because they do it once doesn't make them an expert or even experienced in it. They tried something. Let's just say they do it once and never again. Does that make them bisexual?
No.
A lot of people would say yes.
I know.
A lot of people would disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And we disagree with those people.
Yep.
We live in a sexual society. Me and Bunny really don't like labels. We don't like terms. We like to keep everything positive.
Mm-hmm.
And we applaud anyone who wants to try something that's not in the norm, because
absolutely.
they might find a lot of pleasure out of it.
Go for it. If it's not hurting you or hurting anybody, or even if you're into the hurting people, but or the pain. But no, try it. And who cares what anybody else thinks, what you like, what your kinks are? Who cares?
Right. And
the only one that needs to care is yourself, and don't feel bad because that you like something that's not normal.
Well, a lot of people,
or society's normal.
Right. And if you want to try stuff like that, and it's bad to say, people would say, oh, don't tell them this because you're keeping people in the closet or whatever. You know, if you're a male and you want to go down on another male, if you're a girl and you want to go down on another girl, and you don't want the stipulation of people seeing you do it, because people just are born natural bullies.
Yes.
And it's all through grade school to high school, everywhere. And if you're at a club and you're in an open area and you play a certain way, unfortunately, those people may go run around the entire club going, do you know what I just saw in the playroom? And you had the greatest time in the world. You loved it. You didn't see a problem with it. And just so you know, me and Bunny don't see a problem with whatever you do.
No.
But what they're doing is they're putting up stigmatisms throughout the club. So by that couple going to another couple saying, oh my God, this is what I saw this couple doing, it's that couple now, let's just say they were into the same thing you are, they may avoid you because now they don't want another couple running around telling other people, oh, they're hanging out with them, so they got to be doing the same thing.
Right.
It sucks.
It does suck.
But we're just telling you the politically incorrect truth.
That is true. Now, for the politically correct, bisexual term basically means that you like both sexes equally. And you don't have any qualms about being with a male or a female or vice versa. Pansexual is somebody who loves everybody no matter what their gender or their gender identity is. So you're going to love anybody, whether they're male, female, transgendered, whatever it is, no matter what they identify as. And then the new one, it's not even a new one, it's out there. And it's basically where probably 90% of the people in the lifestyle fall in. And that's sexual fluidity. And with sexual fluidity is you are attracted to one or the other type of couple, one or two sexes, but sexually you'll play with anybody with the right situation.
Okay, so now I'm getting your notes here. Let's see here.
And that's exactly where I fall in because, like I said, I'm not attracted to I'm attracted to women, yes, absolutely. Women are absolutely beautiful. But I am not attracted to every woman sexually. I might play with them if I'm comfortable, if everything's going good. But even then, if I play with a female one time, doesn't mean I'm going to play with her the next time.
Right.
It's all situational for me.
It's the at the very time it's happening is determining your mood.
Yes. And it definitely, if a female is aggressive, definitely, heck yeah, I might play more with a female that's more aggressive than one that's more.
Because you're not aggressive.
I'm not aggressive at all.
You're not aggressive, period. Now, one of the things that I can't stand, and again, it goes back to the bully syndrome, I guess, but if you're a couple and you want bi females, why, and if you're one of them, why do you talk crap about couples where the male wants to be bi with another male? That's kind of hypocritical.
It is completely hypocritical.
And one of the things that, if you do something that doesn't float our boat, we may not play that way. We're always open for suggestions. That's why we got in the lifestyle. We didn't get in this lifestyle just for me and Bunny to have missionary sex, and
we could have missionary sex all week at home if we wanted to.
Right. We don't need anyone else for that. But what we do is when we're around other couples, we actually listen, and our sexual appetite also depends a lot of what comes out of their mouth. And if they're homophobic, either way, we tend to start backing away from those couples.
Right. I hate it when I hate it when people say, we're not going to play with that couple because we found out that he likes to go down on other men. Okay, so what? And I asked, well, what's the problem with that? Well, I'm just afraid that he's going to look at my dick, or I'm afraid that he's going to want to put it in my butt. Really? So you think that you're all that in a bag of chips, that everybody, just because that they might have played with another man before, is going to want you?
I think typically, I think for the most part, and I don't know, in 23 years of us playing with other couples, and we know that we have played after the fact with bi couples. I've never, ever, ever had one just reach out and grab me.
No.
Not once.
Nope.
And I have heard from several couples where, and as an example, he's laying on his back, got his eyes closed, wife's going down on him, he's enjoying every minute of it, and he opens his eyes, he's enjoying it, he looks up, and the wife's watching her husband going down on him. And he asked me, he goes, what do I do? I'm like, well, did you enjoy it? And he goes, it was actually pretty good. He goes, but the problem was there was all kinds of other people in the area, and if he was in a private setting, he doesn't consider himself bi, but he said it was actually pretty good. He wouldn't have stopped it, but because they were in a group environment, he stopped it. And I understand that.
Oh, I understand that completely. Because you're going to have the homophobics out there that are going to not even speak to you.
Well, and they'll automatically assume, even though our friend wasn't going down on the other guy, that he would be a bisexual male. Even allowing another guy to go down on him, they would consider him a bisexual male. And then technically that is a term, bisexual. So irregardless, it was a bisexual encounter.
Yes.
But does he go out and seek it? No. But it happened. But I've heard of that happening a few times. But I'm also wondering, did they tell me a specific story scenario to find out what my thoughts would be about it to keep them on the outside versus it was already prearranged and wanted to know what I thought. If they would have said, yeah, we prearranged it and this is what I thought, maybe they thought I would think less of them.
Right. Like an innuendo as far as, are you going to be open to it or not open to it?
Right. But honestly, we're not big believers on identifying yourself as a certain sexual, what am I going with?
Classification.
Preference. I think pretty much everybody's either straight, gay, or lesbian, meaning lesbians truly are only going to be looking for women only, gays are only going to be looking for guys only, and couples will look for other couples and single females and that. As far as their sexual activity goes, that's where the preferences and clarifications come in.
Mm-hmm.
But they're, like I say, some of the ones that we've heard is I created the open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's been being used verbally, but on the websites out there, I know I was the first because I put it out there to the other websites. Then there's bi-curious, bi-feverish, bi-situational, bisexual. I mean, there are just hundreds of terms, and no one wants to adapt to one of the current terms. They always want to invent a term that kind of keeps themselves separate because they don't want to say bi-curious when they're more bisexual.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the sexual fluid falls in because you're not labeling.
Right. And I'd be kind of curious what people think. If
because there's been definite times where I say that I'm bi-comfortable. There's been times where I could be the one that's bi-feverish.
Correct.
It depends on the whole situation.
I think the situation has a lot to do with it.
And like we said, we prefer to play with people that are open, that want to have fun, that have no homophobic. Because for God's sakes, if you're crawling across somebody and you rub a body part on somebody, you don't need anybody. We don't want anybody freaking out because, oh my God.
Well, we were in a situation where most of the time, if you're new to the lifestyle, most of the time when you got 4 people on a big king size bed and you're going to go from one side of the bed to the other, you just crawl across the people.
Yes.
My balls are going to drag across every body part to get to the other side of the bed.
Yep.
We have been with a couple couples where they wanted no same-sex contact. That meant male or female, to the point where they would get off the bed, walk around to the other side, and get back on, so they had zero contact with the other person. And to me and Bunny, we don't consider that bisexual at all. If you're going to crawl across someone to get to the other side, we don't consider that a sexual act. And to be honest, those were the times that we hated the most because it kind of cock-blocked or kind of ruined the flow or the vibe that was happening.
Yeah, it did it completely. By the time you get off the bed, walk around, come over to the other side, I'm like, all right,
we got to wait for them.
I gotta, yeah.
And you don't know what's going on.
Right. You don't know if they're getting up to go to the bathroom. You don't know. Leave.
So,
get a drink of water, don't come back.
But yeah, we understand there are people that are, and for those people, I don't even want to say homophobic because that's a negative word. They just don't want nothing to do with same-sex, period, male or female. There's a lot of straight couples out there. Mm-hmm. And if that's their style, no one should blast them for that.
No,
they're being open
not.
And honest about it.
And there are a lot of straight females out there. Everybody thinks that just because you're in the lifestyle that you're bisexual female, and that is so further from the truth.
Well, and it's always been said, even going back to the 60s, I'm guessing, that it's expected that the men be straight and the women be bi.
Mm-hmm.
That is the expected in the lifestyle.
It's so wrong.
If we had heard that before we got in the lifestyle, we would have never gotten the lifestyle.
Mm-mm. No.
We got in the lifestyle because we were a straight, married, male-female couple looking to have fun. It wasn't until we got in the lifestyle that a lot of different suggestions came to us, and we thought, holy cow, we never thought of this, or we never thought of, you mean you can hang upside down spinning and it still goes in?
Yep.
but it's fun stuff. And people who are not in the lifestyle will never understand. And we're sad for those people because they're missing a lot.
Yeah. To hear people talk about vanilla sex, I crack up because we're the type of people that say, hey, you want to try this? You know what? We might just try it.
Right.
Have fun. This is your life. This is the way that you want to run your life or do whatever you want. Or some people, the lifestyle encompasses their whole life, every night, everything that they want to do encompasses it. Some people are, we do it once a month. We do it when we're on vacation. However, it's your life. You have fun with it however you want to.
Right.
And don't let anybody put a label on you that you don't need.
So now, just to throw out there, a couple, because we're getting to the end of our podcast, don't worry about so much what other people think. You can list yourself however you want and participate however else you want. Some people feel that you have to list a certain way. You know what? Screw those people. They don't run your life. They're not part of your life. And what they say really doesn't matter. If they want to limit themselves, like there's several profiles out there that they say they're a bi couple. And I always ask them, how often do you get hit on by straight couples? And they say all the time. But there's not a whole lot of bi couples listed on websites because of the stigmatism.
Correct.
And there are some of those profiles that clearly say, if you're not listed as a bi couple, bi male, bi female, whatever, do not contact us. And all I could think is, wow, you just shot yourself in the foot because you just told 90% of the people who you could have a great time with not to contact you. Because they feel if they're not out and open like they are, then they don't want to have anything to do with you. Well, then guess what? You're just as closed-minded as somebody else. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you're going to force someone to do something they're not willing to do, that's pretty freaking crappy.
Yep.
Now, and they'll say, I don't care what you do. There's a lot of politicians in the lifestyle. There's a lot of cops, doctors, lawyers, judges, teachers. CEOs. They have to, anything that can be seen on the internet is proof. And, I don't want proof out there specific. I mean, obviously we don't care. All of our shit's out there. But if I were an executive of a big Fortune 500 company, look at Papa John's Pizza.
Yes.
He had to step down because of a derogatory remark that he didn't intend for it to be derogatory. And I don't know if it was or not. I actually didn't watch. I just know that he had to step down, and now he's going through legal battles to get his job back. Right.
And believe it or not, in this day and age, there still are a lot of people that have to sign morality clauses for their jobs.
Right. So what you see on the outside does not necessarily mean what they have on the inside. Me and Bunny, we list our profile as we want, and what we leave little options open for people to say, hey, you know what? We're not in this just to have sex with each other. We're open for ideas. We want that whole sexual circus or the carnival sex and stuff like that. We want to have a lot of fun. We may or may not do what's suggested, but we don't know unless we're suggested.
Right. But just as a suggestion, I am not going to have sex while I bungee jump.
Maybe.
No, I'm not jumping from nothing.
So with that, don't feel you have to disclose your sexual preference, because just because you might play with the same sex doesn't mean you are bisexual.
No.
I purposely don't believe that. There are a lot of clubs now that are catering to the bisexual community, and I know I'm using a preference there, but there's what is it, Club Sapphire in Washington. Is it once a month?
I think it's once a month. I'm not sure though, because it's been a while since
they're
I've
in Seattle,
researched
Washington. They're one of the leaders in being open-minded to a lot of different things. There's a lot of clubs out there that are great. Sapphire takes it to a whole new level.
The Corral in Pennsylvania.
Corral, yes. Oh my God, you got to check out the Corral in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. They're so accepting on everybody. The managers there we absolutely love at both clubs. And then you got the like the websites and everything, like Kasidie and SLS and all them. They're starting to become more sexual fluid.
Yes.
Oh, I guess we've
came
been
on.
talking so long. The news came on.
But so many of them are opening up their clubs to be more sexually fluid.
But like Bob and Tess, if you don't know who Bob and Tess are, they are icons in the swinging lifestyle. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Is it swinging lifestyle, or is it consensual non-monogamy, or sex positive consensual non-monogamy? I don't know. I'm getting too old, I guess. But I'm going to just say the swinger lifestyle on our podcast. But I say sexual non-monogamy because if you're searching stuff, you might want to search that too, because that's what a lot of the younger people are terming, because they don't want to use the word swinger because to them it sounds old and it sounds negative.
Negative, yes.
So check those out. But Bob and Tess run Naughty Nollins, and they do a great job. They actually have meet and greets for all different types of people, from BDSM to people who, what are some of the meet and greets? Because we always just go to the parties.
They have them all. They have the bisexual ones.
That's where I was going to go
They have couples over 60,
there you
couples
go.
over 50.
Speed dating, naked speed dating.
And they have seminars and classes and meet and greets. And you are interested in it, you're probably going to find something on it there.
Right, but Bob and Tess are they're the ones who kind of pioneered all these. I mean, there were other conventions before that had meet and greets. They didn't really have meet and greets. They just had seminars and dances and pool parties. Bob has the seminars, the pool, or well, if there's a pool party. But he has parties all up and down Bourbon Street. And he does meet and greets. And one of the meet and greets is the bi-couple meet and greet. And that includes bi female, bi male, bi couple, bi anything. And they actually have play areas specifically for bisexual activities.
Yes.
And I won't mention it now because it hasn't happened, but I just talked to a club last night on the phone, and they're going to open up to a bisexual night. So once they do, we'll let everyone know. Right.
I know that there's several on the East Coast.
Right.
But I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful that finally clubs are stepping up and looking at this and saying, hey, you know what? There is a need.
There is a need. Because how can you say that you are open-minded, but yet you're closed-minded all in the same breath?
Yep. I know at Sapphire, when they first started doing it, they got a lot of people, and now it's you don't have to prove that you're bisexual, but you can't go and be a looky-loo.
No. And that's what we like about Sapphire, because they really vet their people.
They do vet their people.
They, when you go to their club, if you've never been there, they take you in a group of you into a room. You all have to be there at a certain time, and they give you the ins and outs. They answer all your questions, but more importantly, they tell you the rules that you need to abide by. And they probably have one of the most fluid functioning clubs I've ever been to.
Yes.
Because people are aware, because they take the time to vet their people in. Single men, they cannot even think of coming into their club until they sit through their single male seminar.
Right, which is amazing.
Amazing, because single men, everyone knows they have a bad rep in the lifestyle, but when a club like Sapphire lets them in, that they've been talked to already. They know the rules. They're not going to be douchebags. They're going to be upscale, prim, proper. They're going to be able to talk, hold a conversation, or they're not going to be allowed back in.
Right.
Most clubs will just keep letting people back in. Sapphire wants nothing but the best of the best, and they will hold them to it.
Yes, and I love that.
We do too. So, all right, so we are past our time. We're going to, if we have any follow-up, we'll do another follow-up podcast. if we did not talk about something on this podcast you feel we needed to talk about, we get these all the time. Send us an email. We actually make little notes and we'll bring it up. We'll make a whole new podcast about it, or we'll bring it up in another similar podcast.
Yes, absolutely. And, with that being said, you play the way that you want to. If you're sexually fluid, if you think that you are a male that would love to be interested in another male, if you want to play with females, you do what you want to do, what makes you happy.
Absolutely. And all of mine and Bunny's podcast are our opinion. We are not giving you anything like telling you how to do the lifestyle or be in the lifestyle or what to do. There are hundreds of other podcasters out there. Search them all out because hopefully what we tell you may help you or may help you understand at least our opinion. But if you're looking for answers, hopefully we helped you come to an answer that best fits you.
Yes.
And there are others out there that can talk about things similar and you may relate to them just as much.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
Pick a bunch of them and start using each one of them to kind of develop your aura in the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, be accepting of everybody. Even if you would never do it yourself, doesn't mean that people don't do it. And be positive. Me and Bunny, we have a rule. If we're around someone and they talk negative, we don't want to be around those people because it's not a positive environment. And we choose not to go out to places and feel like we have to be negative or be around negative influences. With people we like, we are very vocal. We will tell them our likes and dislikes. Other people, we just kind of disappear and they never hear from us again.
Yep.
So hopefully you have a positive lifestyle, you enjoy your lifestyle, and you help others succeed in their lifestyle, whether you like it or not.
Keep it open, keep it positive, keep it fun.
Exactly. So until next time, we wish you, Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or whatever religion you practice, whatever this holiday season is to you, because, we can't offend anyone. Happy everything.
Happy everything.
Have a great day.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and don't forget, book your next vacation with Tom's Trips, the leader in adult travel. You can book online at tomstrips.com or call 1-800-285-0853.
And for all of our other videos and other podcasts, please visit our website, TomandBunny.com. Also on Facebook, check out Swing with Tom and Bunny.